Now, let's continue where we last left off. Emiya got his hero license from All Might himself, and Emiya was congratulated by Momo. And that's where we last left off. Now we're gonna go back to we're gonna cut back to school a few days later with and then Aizawa tells everybody that we're gonna go train and we're gonna come up with ultimate moves. And then Midnight will walk in and say that two of you already have ultimate moves, which everyone already knew that Enma had two, and then they would ask who's the other one, because everyone would know that Enma already has one and Bakugo has one as well. No, three people already have ultimate moves. And Midnight would say that three of you already have ultimate moves, with everyone knowing Enma and Bakugo, with Bakugo with his House of Impact, and Enma with his Gale Bolt and Unlimited Blade Works. They would ask who the third one is, as Midnight would say Tenya Ida. He has his Reciprocal Burst. Ida realizing that his Reciprocal Burst was an ultimate move like he did in the anime. Enma saying that I can't exactly come up with more ultimate moves. I can make weapons that do different things, but I am going to have to come up and I'm going to be more creative than usual to make a new ultimate move. With Midnight saying that's exactly the point of this exercise. All of you be making ultimate moves. Now, let's say he actually is able to make more noble. He makes another noble. He makes noble phantasms. Let's say he makes Excalibur's noble phantasm. Or he makes King Arthur's noble phantasm. He makes let's just say he makes a few with his most powerful noble phantasm he made, being Sabers or King Arthur's noble phantasm. Now, now let's go and continue. Let's continue towards the provisional license exams. But before that, let's say that the entire class does fight Mirio. With almost the exact same thing happen to everybody except for Enma. When Mirio tries to pull his little trick about poking the eyes, Enma doesn't block or close his eyes. He actually moves his entire body and just jumps back. No, he won't jump back because he knows that he won't jump back. He'll see the best course of action would be that to face it head on and block the attack, because Enma knows that Mirio would have to stop permeating at some point. Then Enma would see that he would see at the exact point when Mirio would stop permeating, and would grab his fist and punch Mirio in the face, sending Mirio back and surprising him, because he didn't expect to be hit like that. And before he can recover, or even get his bearings again, he would be hit again by a arrow. He wouldn't get pierced or hurt, or he would get hurt but not pierced. He would get let's say he got hit in both his arms and both his legs. On weak points like the knee, on like the little area between the kneecap, that's when you hit it, sends your leg in the air, that little point. And he would hit in between. He would hit the little. He would hit that little part of your elbow. That when you hit it, it would make your arm feel weird. Like not hurt, but just feel weird. He would hit that part. Which would send Mario's body, or mess up Mario's body long enough for Enma to run at him and hit him in the chest and the face, knocking him out. With the dude, I don't remember the dude's name, but Sun Eater would say that idiot got himself caught up by someone who is more skilled than he was. Then the Sun Eater would face Enma and lose, and then Nejire would face Enma and lose. Basically, Enma just beat all three of the big three. Enma saying that you're going to need more than that, and I barely even tried. I didn't even have to use any of my ultimate abilities. Now, all three of them would challenge Deku to a fight at the same time, or not Deku, all three of them would challenge Enma to a fight at the same time, with Enma agreeing and everyone else would start watching. As he would say, "Are you sure you want to fight me again?" With all three of them saying, "There's no way you can beat all three of us. We are the big three after all, and we are good, and we all three of us make a good team." With Enma saying that I've fought something similar before, but I defeated all three of them. So come at me. With them hearing Enma do an incantation, and the air around him starts swirling. Momo and everyone in Class 1A would immediately know he's using Unlimited Blade Works. He's using Unlimited Blade Works full power. And when he says Unlimited Blade Works, everybody, including Class 1A and Aizawa, would be transported to the full power Unlimited Blade Works. And then Enma would say, "This is my ultimate ability at full power." And Enma would say, "I have full control over this world," as he would make swords float and start flying at Sun Eater and Nejire. Now, Nejire and Sun Eater would have been taken out almost immediately. And when Mario tries to permeate, he can't. As Enma would say, this world is on a different level than what you're used to. Permeating through it would take some time, as all you can do is permeate through my attacks, but not the world itself. With Enma then sending swords flying at Mario, as Mario is panicking and trying to permeate, but he can't and gets knocked out. Deku would then say, or not Deku, Enma would then say that, "I told you guys there was no way you could have beat me." All Might couldn't even beat me. I beat him with one arrow. All three of them get back up after Enma turned off Unlimited Blade Works. Enma would then say that that was Unlimited Blade Works. I will at least tell you the name of that ability. And Enma would then say, "I have other ultimate abilities that I didn't even use. They're weaker than Unlimited Blade Works, but they're still strong by themselves. All of them around the same power. Two of them shine far above the rest though, Gale Bolt and Excalibur." with Mirio, and all of them was hearing Excalibur and saying, "Isn't that the legendary sword of King Arthur?" And Enma saying, "Yes, that's what I based my ultimate move off of. I can create any weapon I want. I mainly make, or I make a lot of weapons. Most of them are based off of, or all the ones I could make before coming to UA are based off legendary weapons. Excalibur being one of them. I just don't use it that much because it's too powerful. Excalibur and Gilbolt are my two strongest noble phantasms. He wouldn't say noble phantasms, he would say Gilbolt and Unlimited Blade. Gilbolt and Excalibur are my two strong, are tied for my second strongest ultimate attacks. Now, time for the provisional license exam with Enma not participating. Everybody still passes the same way they did before. I like how I did one thing earlier, like part 5, part 5. I said that Toga not having her blood kit would have major repercussions. But I also forgot that what I had planned what I had planned in my imagination, I sort of completely forgot and then completely changed what I was planning to do. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just know that sometimes I would think one thing but completely change it and do something else. So, trying to predict what I'm going to do next will be near to impossible. Because I could be thinking one thing at the time and completely change what I'm thinking 2 minutes later. Because I'm not scripting these. I'm running completely on my imagination and what base knowledge I have of those characters. And I give them their own personality and the way they fight and the way they act. Because I know Enma is almost completely different from what he is in Fate Stay Night. And my Dante he's actually similar to who he is. A nonchalant dude that likes to joke a lot. Not really taking anything seriously. I forgot who I shipped him with that series though as well. Who did I ship him with? I know Deku exists in that What If. I have to rewatch that episode. I have to rewatch my part 1 to What If Dante was in My Hero Academia. What If to remember who I shipped him with. Who the hell did I ship him with? It might have been Momo. I don't know. I think it might have been Momo. Because Momo's like one of the most popular characters to ship Deku with, or just random characters you add to the show. Now, let's continue. Yeah, I think I did do Dante with Momo. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter much. Yeah, I did Dante with Momo. Okay, yeah, I remember now. No, that's not wrong. This is a different What If. But anyway, let's continue. Everybody does the exact same they would have done. Everyone would have still passed, except for Bakugo. No, let's say Bakugo actually would have passed this time, because he's not as mean. He would have been humbled by being beaten by Enma at every turn. No matter how much Bakugo tried, he was beaten by Enma. And Momo would still pass, because Momo, plot armor. Enma, already having zero license, would not even need to do it, so he wouldn't. Who would sit by Aizawa and laugh at Miss Joke's attempts at dating Aizawa. Then Enma would tell Aizawa that if he wants to shut up and leave and stop asking him, and Enma would then say if he wants Miss Joke to shut up and to stop asking him out, then just go out with her. Plus, you need someone to be with anyway. Aizawa would give a glare to Enma, but then say fine. Which now, I sort of just made Aizawa now dating. Aizawa is like sort of in this what if is now sort of dating his Joke now. Okay, here's Bixby Key. What were you thinking while making a video? I didn't even mean to click Bixby. I was turning, getting comfortable. Now, okay. What would be next? Oh, I have an idea. The work studies. Momo would not work study with anybody. She would actually work study with Enma, because Enma's an actual hero now, and she can work study with him. She wouldn't go to Night Eye, and All Might wouldn't suggest Night Eye, because All Might would know that, because of Enma's a pro hero, that Momo would go with him. Now, Night Eye is still salty that Mirio did not get One for All. I sort of also get the reason why Night Eye and All Might had a falling out. Because Night Eye told Mirio the secret of One for All without All Might's permission. And now Night Eye's angry that Mirio did not get One for All, because All Might chose Momo in this. Now, and Night Eye's even angrier because he wanted Momo to go with him, so he could see what the current user One for All was made of, but she went with Enma. He ain't that angry, but he's disappointed. Now, Enma and Momo would just go on patrols a lot, and Enma's making a bigger name for himself. He's not in the top 10, but he's definitely top 10 in power. He's definitely number 1 in power. But he's not in the top 10 yet for popularity and fame. So he is getting paid, but not a lot. Let's say currently, because of his endorsement by All Might, he's in the top 50 currently. So now we're going to cut to the raid on Overhaul's base. Mirio would have bumped into Eri. I have an idea actually. Yes, I'm gonna do that. Yes. Okay. Mirio would have still bumped into Eri, and the same thing would happen. Now, when they're discussing the raid on, when they're discussing the raid for Overhaul. Never mind. One second. I'm thinking about this. Okay. Night Eye would have somehow gotten in contact with Emiya and asked him if he wanted to join a raid on a villain base. Emiya agreeing, and then they would go to the meeting, with Momo still being his work study. So she's coming with him. And Momo would see, I think Asui was there? I don't remember who was all there. One second, I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. No. Okay. I did figure out all three of the three people who went to. I know Kirishima went, but I made sure about the two others. So Ochako, so it was Kirishima, Ochako, and Asue. All three of them are there, and basically the same discussion would happen, with some of the heroes questioning why is Emiya there when he's still a first year student, and Emiya saying that I might be a first year, but I'm probably stronger than everyone here. With Night Eye, with all of them challenging Emiya to a fight at the same time, and then Night Eye would say, "Let me see the future first before y'all fight." Then Night Eye would see that all of them losing in a field of ash and swords. Being shocked, Night Eye would ask what was that. As Night Eye would explain that he saw a field of ash and swords. And then Emiya would go, so I used my unlimited blade works. That I most definitely won. With Night Eye saying that yes, all of you would have fought and Emiya would have won. Which would shock all the heroes, and then they would stop their discussion. As Night Eye would also say, only two of you didn't fight him. Only two of the heroes here didn't fight him, which was Aizawa and Gran Torino. And Aizawa and Gran Torino would just say that we know how strong Emiya is, and we were not planning on fighting him anyway. Now, the discussion would go around the same, with Emiya getting extremely angry at Chisaki / Overhaul for turning Eri into bullets, and Mirio having the exact same reaction he did in the anime, with Emiya putting his hand on Mirio's shoulder and says, "We'll make him pay. We'll throw him in jail, and so he'll never see the light of day again. He doesn't deserve to be sent to jail, but this is how the world works that's where we have to send him." With Mirio being cheered up by Emiya's words. And then the raid on Overhaul's base would commence. Now, Emiya would have told Momo to stick with Uraraka and Asue, as it would be safer for her there. With Momo, of course, having to follow the orders of the person she's work studying under. Momo would argue, but Emiya would say that I am currently your boss. I'm currently your boss, and I'm your boyfriend. I am only worried about your safety. Now go with them. And Momo would begrudgingly go with Uraraka and Asue, as Emiya would stay with Mirio. Emiya would be with Mirio and Night Eye. Now, basically, Overhaul's about to get his butt kicked, because Emiya's extremely angry, and I mean extremely angry. Everyone who gets in Emiya's way is immediately punched and knocked out. Did y'all hear that? My grandma is yelling at the cats again. Anyway, let's get back to it. Just ignore it for right now. Yeah. That's funny. I can hear him yelling at the cat in the background. I'm sorry, but I'll continue now. they wouldn't run in the toga because no, they wouldn't run in the toga still. Yeah, they did run in toga still. So this entire encounter with toga would still happen. Now when she's yelling at the cat still. Now, I might continue forward. Now, let's go to... Okay. Okay. So, Miria would fight Overhaul, and the same thing would happen. Then, emiya would fight Overhaul. But, emiya would be holding Eri in his arms. Saying he would say the incantation for Unlimited Blade Works, and Unlimited Blade Works would happen. Sending him, Eri, and Overhaul to... Or sending him, Eri, and Overhaul into the world of Unlimited Blade Works. Eri would look around to see ash and swords. And she would look at emiya. He's smiling at her. Overhaul would try to use his quirk, but he can't. And he would try to continuously use it over and over and over again on the swords and the ash. And emiya just telling him that your quirk doesn't work here. As swords would start flying up from behind emiya and launching themselves at Overhaul, who puts his hands up in defense. And emiya pierces his legs and his elbows. He pierces his kneecaps and elbows, basically just disabling him for right now. Nothing a healing quirk can't fix. Now, emiya would have turned off Unlimited Blade Works, and everyone would see that emiya, Eri, and Overhaul appeared. Overhaul would appear with holes in his arms and legs, primarily on his kneecaps and elbows. They would ask what emiya did, and emiya would just say, I pierced his elbows and his kneecaps so he couldn't run away or move. emiya was just saying that emiya would just say, we're walking over to Chisaki, as his arms and legs are bandaged so he wouldn't bleed. And emiya would look over and lean over him and says, you're gonna rot in prison for what you've done. Now, Eri would activate her quirk by accident, and she would start rewinding Deku. Or rewinding emiya. But would have no effect on him. Or her quirk will be trying to rewind him, but it can't. It's not working. So she is releasing all of her energy. Everyone knows that Eri has a rewind quirk, and they're asking if emiya's okay. emiya would say, I'm fine. emiya would say that she isn't rewinding me. She's trying to rewind my clothes. But then emiya would say that quirks don't have an effect on anything I make. My clothing basically can't be affected by quirks because I made it myself. Overhaul will not be able to will not be able to use his quirk on my clothes and to change them and Eri can't rewind them. Aizawa was about to stop Eri's quirk, but Emiya told him to not do that. She's releasing all of her energy into this. We have to drain her of her energy so she isn't dangerous around others. Emiya will then explain it seems like the bigger her horn is, the more energy she has piled up. With Aizawa understanding, and then Emiya would sit down with Eri, and she would stare at her and start playing with her. And she's still releasing all of the energy. Then she would finally release all the energy and pass out, with Emiya still holding her in his arms. Now, the same thing that happened to Overhaul on Cannon would happen still, with Shigaraki decaying both his arms. And taking the quirk wasting bullets, which I will say are not going to work on Emiya, because he doesn't have a quirk, and he's a lot older than what he looks. Now, Emiya would ask. Now, Night-Eye, who is the leader of the operation, would ask, or Emiya would ask Night-Eye if he could adopt Eri. Night-Eye, seeing no problem with it, would say, "Sure, but you're also just a kid." Emiya would say, "I might be just a kid, but I know how to handle myself, and I can still train her." Seeing as how I've trained most of the Class 1A. I've trained most of Class 1A into how to fight and use their quirks better. With Momo saying he has taught me a lot. He's even taught me how to make weapons without even how to break the restriction on my quirk. With Night-Eye being intrigued, would ask, "What do you mean?" As Momo would say, I used to have to know the molecular structure of what I was making. Now I no longer need to." With Night-Eye being amazed. And Night-Eye, a plus, Night-Eye's not dead. And is not dying either. Also, guys, we're getting close to the end of this series. I'll start the series back up when the next season comes out, which will most likely be the end of My Hero Academia. But after that, I'm going to change a few things. So for now, after I go do the gentle criminal arc and all that, I'm going to end the series there. Now, let's continue a few days later, where Eri is released from the hospital and is brought to Momo's house, because you gotta remember I just said that Enma has just adopted Eri. Eri would say that they have a pretty big house, with Emma laughing and saying that we do, don't we? Eri would ask what does she call Enma? With just Enma saying, "Just call me Enma. That's all I know. That's all I care." Call me Enma or Dad. Either one doesn't matter to me. And now, when Enma walks in after picking Ari up and taking her home, or taking her back to Mama's house, Enma will walk in with Ari hiding behind his leg because she's still just a kid who was abused her entire life and used for her quirk. So she would hide behind his leg as she would see Momo's father. And Momo's father would ask, "Who is this?" As Enma would say, "Your adopted granddaughter." As Momo's father would say, "You adopted this girl?" As Enma would say, "Yes," after a raid on a recent villain base. "She has no current family." And I checked if I could adopt her, and now she's your adopted daughter. Momo's father asking if she has a name, and with Enma saying her name's Ari. Her quirk is called Rewind. She can rewind anything to a different point in time. So be careful. And I still need to train her in how to use and activate her quirk. So be careful while around her, and she activates her quirk, she could accidentally kill you. I'm only safe because of my I'm only safe because of my arm, well, because of my hero outfit, which is made for my quirk and is unaffected by, and quirks that have effect on matter do not affect me because my hero outfit shields me from that. Now, Enma, we're gonna skip a few days, and Erica's getting used to living with Enma and Momo. She started calling Enma Dad and Momo Mom. In other words, Enma and Momo both have a kid now, and all of Class 1A knows it because Uraraka would have told them that Enma adopted a kid, which would have shocked them at first, or would have shocked them, but then they would get back from the shock. And when Enma finally goes back to school with Momo, and when Enma goes back to school after having a few days off for basically raiding Overhaul's base and being one of the main heroes who stopped Overhaul, would have gotten a break. And when Enma gets there, everyone would look at him and say that we hear you adopted. We hear you have you have a child now. With Enma saying, "Yes, I adopted her, and she's currently at my place, where I live." Everyone asked why you adopted her. With Enma saying that I can't just leave a little girl, familyless, as well as not being able to control her quirk. So I adopted her so I can teach her how to control it, as well as teach her, as well as just, as well as teach her how to, teach her how to control her quirk and how to activate it, as well as teach her how to fight. But mainly focusing on quirk for right now, because I can't have her accidentally erasing Momo's family. Now, we're going to skip a few days. Everyone's still getting ready for the everyone's still getting ready for the everyone's still getting ready for the event. I don't remember what it's called now, but for the when they're doing this, when Class 1A is doing their song and dance, they actually assigned Enma to do something else. They told Enma to fire fireworks out of his, or fire small explosions, colored explosions. That was very small, above the audience. Enma saying, I see what you want me to do. Basically be a firework launcher. With everyone laughing and saying basically. Emma sighs and says fine, but I won't be here. I won't be able to practice all the time. I do have a job. I'm still a hero, you know. So I might not be able to, I might not be able to get there. And I might get there a little late. Or just in time. I don't know. I've been hunting down Gentle Criminal and haven't been able to keep up with him. With them saying, okay, just make sure you're here on time. We want to make sure we do as good as possible. Let's say they got somebody else who's not that important do it, or have Aoyama do, or have someone do the rope. Now, we're gonna do a Gentle Criminal fight. Enma's walking down the street when he sees a heavily dressed man and a very small, heavily dressed woman. He's gonna get suspicious. He gets suspicious of them and asks why are they so heavily dressed. As Emma would ask to see their faces because he's been looking for someone and you're hiding yours. Gentle Criminal would then run away with La Brava. And Enma would say, I knew it. And then he would shoot arrows and actually hit Gentle Criminal's leg. Which La Brava would use her quirk to try to boost him, but would not work, and Enma would catch up pretty quickly, easily taking both of them down. And take him to jail. He would look at his watch and see that it's almost time for him to head back. So he would head back real quick, and then they would do their song and dance thing. And then he would fire fireworks. 1 second.